Hi, this is Christine with Digital Come Up. I'm very excited today because we launched this brand new website, and I was actually the designer of this website for my company. So I'm really happy to see it live and online. So I thought today I would focus on one kind of overarching aspect of the design that I used when thinking about how to create this site, and that's this phrase, and it's motion always creates emotion. And I read that a few months ago in a blog post that talked about how important it is to get an emotional response from your website visitors. Um, and it really gave a lot of good examples of ways to do this, and that is linked in the blog post I wrote connected to this video. So definitely check out that blog post. It was really helpful. But that quote just kept sticking with me, and I think it's definitely true, at least in my experience. So the way that I incorporated it is to make my titles, just on my pages, there's different small titles of different sections. I gave them a subtle animation so that as the user scrolls down, they will appear to kind of grow. And you can see this as I scroll here. So that's just a little subtle way to give the reader a cue. You know, this is a new section, there'll be different content here, but it's reactive. So the reader feels like, oh, I'm causing something to happen. That's an engaging thing to feel as you're scrolling through a website. So that's always good. And it's not too busy, so it's just like a little something extra. So I really like that enhancement of this site. And you know, I love it on the desktop version, but I love it even more actually on the mobile version. And I'm going to take you to the mobile version, just a mock-up of it so that I can show you exactly what I mean. And I used WP Touch. That's a plugin to create a mobile-friendly version of your website. I used that on the other site I built for this company, and I used it again here because I just think it looks great and it's very easy to use. So we can do a preview, and you can see the titles, it's the same. They will just grow as you scroll. And they won't grow until the reader brings that section up on the screen. So it's fully responsive to the reader's motion. And I like it. It breaks up the text, and I think I really like it on this page that highlights our company's awards and recognition. So I'm going to take you to this page here. So this page has a lot of text. It's a long scroll page, and we know that readers, when they scroll, they're usually not reading every word very closely. They're more doing a scan. So, you know, there are things like pictures to break up the text, but as you can see, it's a lot of text. And then the reader says, oh, well, here something happened, something changed, and that helps them to be more conscious of this is something different. You know, if it didn't grow as you're scrolling the text, it might not be noticeable that it's a little bit larger, but that growing feature helps draw more attention to that fact. So I really think, you know, readers scan, we know this, we might as well make it easier for them to piece our content out and find exactly what they're looking for, and just to get the highlights, and then, you know, if they want to read in more depth, they'll know exactly where to do it. So having that conscientiousness to your reader is something they'll definitely appreciate. So that is why I used animations, kind of my thinking behind it, and some of the examples of how it looks on my site. So now I'm going to show you how to actually do this on your own site. So I used a plugin to kind of manage the animation, and this is called Shortcodes Ultimate. So if you're going to use the same method as me, you should download this plugin, make sure it's activated, Shortcodes Ultimate. And then once it's downloaded and activated, on your sidebar, you'll see that you have this shortcodes choice. So I'm going to show you some of the different examples. So there's a bunch of different animations you can do. You don't have to do the slow grow one that I chose. You could do something much flashier. You could do something that has doesn't just do text. As you'll see, you can animate all different sorts of things. So you can animate these notes. And you'll see some of them are very busy and attention grabbing. Some of them are just subtle, soft. So it's really, it's a personal choice. I could see a really flashy thing being useful for maybe a pop-in that says sign up for our newsletter or register for this big event or shop our sale. So there's a time and a place definitely for that, but you can also animate boxes, columns, buttons. These would be super useful, I bet, for a lot of people. And even something, if you have a tab, you can animate the content in that. And what I really love about this plugin and these shortcodes is that it gives you the sample code, and all you have to do is copy and paste this into your editor and just swap out the sample text. This is a box title and column content. You could just swap that right out and put in whatever you want in there. So they make it really easy to use. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the back end of my home page so that you get a sense of how I use this. This looks great. I just love that little extra animation. So this is that right column that says who we are, what we do, that's on my home page. And you can see in the content here, this is the shortcode I used, and this is that large title that will grow up. It's called Fade In Up. That's that animation. So I just copy pasted this. I subbed out what the title will say right here. And then it has some other options too. This duration is, how quickly it will grow. So you can have it grow quicker or slower. If there will be a pause, like when the reader opens the screen, if you want it to grow after a second or two, you could choose that. And then there's some other customization options that you can explore in the Shortcode Ultimate widget. And you probably noticed in the shortcodes, the animations is just one example of things you can do with shortcodes. You can do all sorts of other things. So definitely, if you're interested in using it for the animations, you'll have a lot of other features that you can use also. So it is worth a download if that's something that you think would be useful for you. So thank you so much for watching. That has been my tutorial on using animations to kind of liven up your website, help your readers out, especially if they're long scrolling on a mobile screen. They'll really appreciate that little break in the text, that little cue, just shows that you're thinking about them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you use animations, if you use other techniques to kind of make your website more lively. And this has been a Digital Come Up tutorial.